Logan Paul has went through many trials and tribulations in his life. It's not easy to convince your audience that you're not going to scam them again after the third time that you've scammed them. Each time it becomes subsequently harder, and Logan Paul has taken on the mammoth task, like Sisyphus pushing the rock endlessly up the mountain because of his desire, no, his dream, to scam them just one more time. But today, he may have bitten off more than he can chew, because Logan Paul goes into the ring against his most challenging opponent yet. morepat has created a food theory on Prime. Who will come out the victor? Food theory started drama with Logan Paul? Here we go, morepat drama
Almost
arc.
exactly 1 year ago, massive YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI joined forces to launch Prime, a sports drink brand that's coming after the likes of Gatorade and Powerade. And now,
I have to say, I am sick of seeing Prime everywhere. They started putting it in my Aldi and I'm sick of it. It is in every sense of British culture now. Prime. It's all over TikTok. I go into Aldi and parents are picking up bottles like, how many of these can we buy? And the bewildered and tired employees look over and they say, you can only get one of each. And they're like, oh, all right. And then they try to like sneak another one. Even my cousin on Snapchat, I saw him selling Prime on Snapchat. He's like, oh, some Prime bottles, £5 for a bottle. And I'm like, no, please, not you too.
almost exactly 1 year later, this stuff is everywhere. It's in stores.
I don't think you're gonna see this coming. Look at this. No! God damn it, man!
It's the official drink of the UFC. It's in almost every YouTube short that I get recommended.
Prime.
This thing is just an easy view machine. I've seen shorts of people just emptying a bottle of Prime on the floor and they just gets like 100 million views. It's
Even got
insane.
itself a Super Bowl commercial. Hold on, rewind that back. Is that Markiplier?
Oh, that's good.
Ah, damn it.
Okay, having Markiplier try your drink and saying it's good is probably the highest quality endorsement that you can get in the world. I don't think that there's anyone whose opinion I care more about than Markiplier. Maybe David Attenborough. The crazy thing is I've tried Prime and it's like fine. It's too sweet, I think. It tastes okay. It's just like juice. It's like squash. It tastes a little bit too sweet.
I guess I gotta try it. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, where red hot drinks get cold hard facts. And let me just cut right to the chase with this one. Prime is massive and is currently on track to be the most successful creator startup brand ever.
For real, it is insane. I see it everywhere. People have made coffee, like Emma Chamberlain's made coffee, Jacksepticeye's made coffee, and it's like, it'll do well. But every single creator brand that I see just does like kind of well. Prime is everywhere. I don't understand it. I guess it looks kind of nice. It has funny colors on it, which makes the kids go, ooh, look at the funny colors. And it has the resource scarcity where it makes it cool to have a bottle of Prime. I don't understand how it got so popular though.
$250 million in revenue. Now, it's always important to remember that revenue is very different from profits and that those sorts of numbers can be the result of a lot of different factors. So take all of that with a grain of salt. But to give that $250 million some context, Mr. Beast's Feastables chocolate brand reportedly had $10 million in sales.
Okay, Mr. Beast actually commented on this video and said, that's not accurate. We did way more than that, lol. So, damn, Mr. Beast coming in with a fact check. You just got fact checked by Mr. Beast. Click like if you want to be fact checked by Mr. Beast again.
Its first year. Any way you slice it, the numbers here are eye-watering. Here's the thing though, I don't buy it. Something's not right about all this. Don't get me wrong, I'm normally eager to celebrate.
It seems manufactured, doesn't it? It seems fake. Like all this marketing and stuff, it seems like it's being paid for by the shadow government and the lizards that own us all.
Creator-led business, but Logan Paul, for some reason, I just get a little suspicious of things that he puts his name to. Not
really? What makes you suspicious of all the things that he puts his name to? Is it the time that he scammed his viewers, or the other time where he scammed his viewers, or how about that crypto scam? Do you remember that time that he scammed his viewers? And not to mention the time that I wonder why.
Today we're investigating Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo, a blockchain game that made millions but never worked.
I'm moving to Puerto Rico. I feel like people are wondering why Puerto Rico, right? Taxes. It's one vertical. It's a big one.
We found a dead body.
Oh no, dude, not this one. Oh, I forgot that video, man. That's so bad. I've never actually seen the full video in its entirety because it was taken down, but that is such a bad video.
Yeah, can't quite put my finger on it. Just a hunch, I guess. So today, I wanted to take a closer look at Prime to see if it's really the wonder product everyone's making it out to be. Is this the next major thing in sports hydration, or is it yet another Logan Paul get-rich-quick scheme?
I am gonna make a prediction right now. I'm gonna say that all of the sports hydration part is completely overblown, and the reason why it's so popular is because of the insane marketing, and there are way better sports drinks that you can consume. But since most people that drink this kind of stuff aren't actually doing incredibly intense sports like insane cardio and stuff like that, it doesn't really make a difference to the average person. That's my prediction.
Alert. It's a little bit of both, actually. So the thing that I've been seeing crop up again and again have been videos like this, where Logan compares popular sports drinks to Prime. Prime versus Gatorade. Prime versus Red Bull. Prime versus Liquid IV.
All right, we're going bottle for bottle. These are all facts.
And every time it seems like it's a win for Prime. Then again, I suppose if it weren't, the video wouldn't exist in the first place, you know.
It's a win for Prime if you don't know anything about how sports drinks actually work, then
So anyway,
sure.
I wanna
like
just-
me. I don't know how sports drinks work, but I'm gonna make an assumption. I'm gonna say my things, my opinions, without anything to back it up, because that's what YouTubers do, baby.
Stat battles to see if there's any truth to Logan's pitch. The one I want to focus on is against Prime's biggest rival, Gatorade, the granddaddy of sports beverages. And immediately, without any words even leaving his mouth, there's a red flag: the bottle difference. Off the bat, Logan is using Prime's 500 milliliter bottle, and he's comparing it against Gatorade's larger 591 milliliter bottle. So when
It always confused me why American bottles have 591 milliliters. It's such a weird number. Like, what do you guys like about that
he
number so
says
much?
things like this,
Gatorade has 36 grams of sugar in it.
sure, it might be true, but that's also talking about a bigger serving size.
Okay, well, comparatively, that doesn't really make that much of a difference. 34 grams of sugar in a slightly bigger bottle is still way more comparatively to a 500 milliliter bottle. Don't you have a ton of carbs in these drinks because you need carbs to replenish your energy? You need quick-acting carbohydrates that you can just consume super quickly so you can continue to do the cardio or the jumping around or the exercise or whatever you're doing. Isn't that kind of the point of having a sports drink, is that you're supposed to have sugars in it?
It's something that Logan even calls out later in the video,
And a bigger bottle.
but then doesn't correct the math for. So you know what? I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna compare the two drinks milliliter for milliliter rather than bottle for bottle like he does. He starts off with sugar, so we're gonna do that too. 36 grams for Gatorade versus 2 for Prime. That'd be
36 grams of sugar in a drink is insane, though. If you're not actually doing sports, you really do not need that.
milliliter for Gatorade and 0.4 milligrams per milliliter for Prime. Victory for Prime, right? Well, don't call this one just yet because he's not making a truthful comparison here. For the Gatorade, the 36 grams he's pulling is from the total carbohydrate number on the nutrition label. But for Prime, he's pulling the total sugars amount, a lower subset of the total carbs.
We spread a little misinformation. We do a little bit of leaving information out.
If he were truly comparing the two drinks fairly and correcting for the volume of liquid, it'd be 28.7 grams of total sugar in Gatorade versus 2 in Prime. Still a win for Prime, and still by a wide margin, but at least the numbers are accurate and fair rather than artificially skewed. Next up, calories.
Gatorade has 140 calories. Look at that. Prime only has 25.
Yeah, this is accurate.
Okay, sure, if you care about that, you're just gonna drink like a Diet Coke instead though, right? That has no sugar and it has no calories. I don't think the people that are drinking the full sugar versions care about the amount of calories. And still, if you're actually doing sports, you're burning a ton of calories while you're doing the sports, which will need to be replenished by something anyway. So it's really not that big of a deal if you're actually doing a ton of
The
sports.
higher sugar content is really propping up Gatorade's number here. Comparing per milliliter, Gatorade's looking at 0.25 calories per ml versus Prime's 0.05. Prime is literally a fifth of the calories.
Calories
once
are
you
just
normalize
energy.
the data. Last but certainly not least, the biggie, the stat that seems to bury Gatorade.
We're both electrolyte drinks. Gatorade has 350 milligrams of electrolyte. Prime doubles it with 825 milligrams of electrolyte.
Okay, here's where it loses me. I know nothing about electrolytes, so I need to be educated on
There's
this.
a massive difference, literally a 2x difference. But 2x of what exactly? What do those numbers actually mean? Like, Gatorade has been the go-to sports drink.
Is more even good?
Newcomer just swoop in and dominate so completely. This too set off a lot of red flags for me. Too good to be true, right? Clearly something's gotta be wrong here. Well, let's start with the basics. The first thing that Logan says, they're both electrolyte drinks. What's that mean? Well, a sports drink, otherwise known as an electrolyte drink, is legally defined as any non-alcoholic beverage containing electrolytes or glucose that's intended to be consumed in order to replenish electrolytes that are lost during exercise. Quote-unquote sports drinks don't require FDA approval, and so they won't include any kind of special labeling unless they have caffeine. So in general, this category is pretty darn broad. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any sort of minimum requirements for electrolytes, calories, no calories, sugar, vitamins, anything else. The definition is largely marketing based, which is why when you walk down the sports drinks section of the grocery store, there's a huge range of options with vastly different ingredients. ingredients. Based on the loose definition that does exist though, safe to say that Prime qualifies as a sports drink and that having electrolytes has a lot to do with it. But that then begs the question,
it is really interesting that their first drink that they released leaned so heavily into being a sports drink when the amount of people that watch them that actually do that amount of intense sports that will need a sports drink to drink are so low. I don't understand why they went down this angle and they're stressing it so hard that it's a super cool sports drink when they could have just released like an energy drink, put whatever the fuck they wanted in it, and people would eat it up still. I mean, that's what they did with Prime Energy, but still.
What
it's
is
super funny to start with this.
When I first started writing this episode, I thought I had a rough idea, but I wasn't totally sure. It's just one of those words that gets tossed around a lot.
It's a
when you see
gimmick,
the
I
imagery
guess.
Of a sweaty Michael Jordan guzzling down a Gatorade or a football coach getting the whole water cooler dumped on him. But
Monster has estrogen in it. Finally, a reason to drink Monster.
chemically, what are they and why do you need them when you're playing sports? Well, at the basic level, electrolytes have the word electro in them, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Which makes you faster, right?
Electrolytes are charged molecules, meaning they can either have a positive or negative charge, and as a result, they play a big role in transporting things around your body. There are only 8 electrolytes that are typically listed in foods: sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and bicarbonate.
Wait, that's what electrolytes is? Sodium, potassium, that's a banana. Calcium is milk. Magnesium is something. Bicarbonate of soda is that weird white powder that you get to make cakes sometimes. And chloride is what they put in swimming pools, right? I didn't know that that's what the electrolytes were.
Most of which probably sounds somewhat familiar.
Wait, so you just put salt. So just eat salt, dummy. Just have it like a spoonful of salt when you're doing your sports. Easy.
Because you've been hearing about them since the 90s when they tried to make SpaghettiOs look healthy. In general, electrolytes are responsible
Does that mean if you had enough salt, you could generate an electrical charge?
for helping your brain fire off messages between neurons, helping your cells produce energy, and regulating the amount of fluids in your body. When it comes to exercise, they also help regulate the contraction of all your muscles, meaning that if you lose too many electrolytes, your body physically can't send off the electrical charges it needs to flex your muscles anymore. And it turns out that when you exercise a lot, you lose a lot of electrolytes in your sweat. You see, since a large percentage of your body is water,
So does a lack of electrolytes cause muscle failure when you've been squatting too many muscles, or is that just due to the stress that you put on it?
and electrolytes are polar charged molecules, they move around really easily in your watery bloodstream, and they end up getting squeezed out the other end of your pores when you're getting sweaty with your best bros. The idea of drinking a sports drink instead of just water is that when you're exercising intensely for long periods of time, you're losing so much water that you're actually washing the electrolytes straight out of your system, and you're gonna start feeling tired and sluggish without those things.
Which is why people like having sports drinks when they're working out as opposed to just drinking water. Because if you just drink water, then you don't get the electrolyte replenishment unless you put salt in your water, which, you know, that's tasty,
But how
delicious.
much are you really losing here? A few drops of Gatorade on the brow isn't going to be needing a 20 ounce of Gatorade and hundreds of milligrams of electrolytes, right? Well, not so fast. Of course, all exercise.
No. Okay, when you sweat, though, you're sweating in your entire body. Like, you lose more water than you think when you sweat through your entire body. It's like a ton.
Water loss is going to be totally dependent on your body, your exercise routine, your environment. But in the case of serious athletes, we're not talking about a little sprinkle. In Carl Gisolfi's article, Water Requirements During Exercise in the Heat, he notes that while exercising in the heat, the body can lose as much as 3 to 4 liters of water every hour. That is almost a gallon.
You are gonna be dripping wet. You're gonna be soaking. Imagine just dumping 2 liters of 2 liters of water on your body. That's a lot of water.
More than that over the course of several hours. A gallon of water lost is over 8 pounds of body weight that you just sweated right out of your system, which if it sounds like a lot, it is. This is why you see boxers trying to sweat off the pounds before a weigh-in, because water weight actually makes a massive difference.
Oh yeah, you look so much more shredded when you get rid of that water weight. Water weight is so important. That it can fluctuate your weight so much. I've realized this. It can fluctuate your weight so much from like a day-to-day basis.
Fortunately, you just can't sweat it out forever. As soon as you start to lose more than 2% of your total body weight in water, you actively start to experience symptoms of dehydration, including headaches, nausea, cramping, and fatigue. Because
They do this before bodybuilding shows as well, when they're trying to like flex and they're trying to show how freaking shredded they are. You basically drink no water whatsoever. You completely dehydrate yourself. It sounds like a miserable experience if I'm being honest.
Shutting down without the ability to regulate and contract your muscles. For a 150-pound person, this means that losing more than 3 pounds of water, or just over 1 liter, can cause your whole game to suffer. And thus, you can really start to see why the sports drink market is such a thriving business.
Ramadan,
People
true.
working hard jobs all day are losing water and electrolytes constantly, and those things need to be replaced. On the flip side, if you're like me and just pop popping into the gym to hit the old stride machine for 20 to 30 minutes a couple days a week, chances are you don't need to be refueling with sports beverages because you're not losing enough water and electrolytes. You can stick to the water, save some money, just stop being posers about it. Knowing all of this, do Logan's stats here line up?
He just called out every single person that goes to the gym, including myself. Actually, I only drink water when I go to the gym and a little bit of pre-workout.
Yeah, kinda. If anything, he's underselling Prime in this category, which seems incredibly sussy for a guy like him. He says Prime has 825 milligrams of electrolytes, but according to my calculation, it should be 835. 700 milligrams of potassium, 124 of magnesium, and 10 of sodium or salt.
Dude, it's
Gatorade,
all
meanwhile,
potassium, bro. Just eat a banana, you'll be fine.
exactly what he says it is. 270 milligrams of sodium and 80 of potassium for a grand total of
Bro, you got no magnesium, L.
350. To recap, well, yes, some of the comparisons were biased in Logan's favor. When I normalized the data, Prime still won. Am I gonna have to give the dub to Logan? Ugh, no, not yet. Maybe.
No, because everyone drinking Prime does not need 835 milligrams of electrolytes. They're all 8-year-olds that go to school and sit down and do their math homework
The
and
difference is
the class.
nutritional here. Maybe it's all taste-based. Maybe the flavor of these things sucks. To know for sure, I bought every flavor of Prime, and then I bought every other sports drink on the market with similar flavors. In
Oh, here we
total,
go.
had 52
Taste test,
drinks
baby.
spanning Prime's 7 core flavors. Though, to be fair, some categories were more contested than others. We then set up a series of blind taste tests to see which brand would come out on top. All right, Josiah, thanks for joining me here on Food Theory. We have
I think the version of Prime I tasted was like the American one. I don't know what to call it, the red, white, and blue one. That one kind of sucked. I think I tried the green one as well, which is a little bit better, but they're really not that great.
collection of basically every sports beverage that I could find at like the 3 local
Pat's gonna
grocery
hate it.
stores. And I need you to go down the line and just tell me which is your favorite and what is your least favorite, please.
Okay.
Okay?
What is BioSteel?
C was my second favorite.
Whoa! Okay.
He likes Prime?
You just picked Prime.
Here we go.
Oh, he's a stan, dude. He's part of the Low Gang.
Ooh,
Undercover
that
agent.
one has a good aftertaste. That's really fruity. Ooh, actually the aftertaste sucks. This one's bad.
No, the one on the one on the left looks like a milk carton. Dude, it tastes so sweet. Americans like things too sweet. It's got so much sweetener in it.
You, sir, just picked Prime.
That's actually crazy that so many people are liking Prime.
That feels like salty, immediately salty.
Gamer discovers sports drinks.
Again, oh, that's wildly different.
Yeah, the
That is-
flavor hits you.
I wouldn't have said that was orange if I didn't know that was orange. I can tell you my worst two. D and F.
D and F, okay, are your worst two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gatorade and Powerade just taking the L.
E and C, I think will be my top two.
Okay. The one that you said is wildly different from the others, but really flavorful.
Yeah, E.
That is Prime.
Okay.
Dude, I swear to God, they need to appeal to like 12-year-olds' taste buds because it smacks you with a wall of flavor when you drink it. It's kind of overwhelming.
Bad.
I could take a sip, but I was like,
I think F and D will.
I don't want to
work
drink a whole bottle of
from
this.
perspective,
It's not worth
but
it.
It was just really odd.
So I want to get on the action as an extra test subject, so I'm not involved with any of these from here on out.
I do like lemon and lime flavored stuff though.
Ooh, much stronger. Okay, this is what I would typically assume is like a.
They got paid
lemon
off by
sports
Prime.
beverage. A little bit salty. It kind of like sticks in the back of your teeth a little bit. Like,
Dude, I don't want to drink that sticks in the back of my teeth.
that's Prime. I can almost guarantee, based on how
Just because it's
these
so
flavor
strong.
profiles have broken down, the thing that always has the densest, strongest flavor seems like it's always Prime. My favorite is F.
That would in fact be Prime.
I knew it.
Damn. I don't know. I guess Tom didn't say that he liked it, and he's British, right? The one that was previous. The one that was like, whoa, that's salty. He's British. The Americans are leaning more towards the really super flavorful stuff.
Oh, I like this one.
Is she gonna like this one? That was the Prime. Wait, does she? Oh no, she doesn't like it.
yuck.
She hates it. She hates it. She hates it.
Okay, so this is like if you just took a really sweet, flat drink and then you added
Like a ton of
oregano
sugar.
to it.
Oregano?
So there's a slightly herbal
That's funny.
flavor
That's kind
on
of
the
funny.
back, and I don't mean herbal like something nice that you'd want to drink. I mean like something that you'd add to spaghetti sauce. It was close to the one that I hated
Yo, someone please make Prime spaghetti. That'd be so
most.
funny.
I think I've got to go with G. It is a unique moment when I feel like I'm drinking part of like maybe my own stomach acid in a sports drink. So we're gonna peg that one as the worst, followed closely by I, to be honest.
Interestingly,
Kinda base.
no sugar flavors tended to rank higher than any fully sugared brands, with Powerade Zero being the overall winner with the consistently highest rankings across the board. That said, no one brand dominated every flavor category. And while Prime didn't win everything, it certainly did
This Ice Pop one sucks so bad. It's so unnatural. It's weird.
win a few, with an especially strong performance in Tropical Punch. In general, it was consistently well received. The only problem was that it was just much sweeter than any other sports drink brand. The other drinks tended to have
They
flavors
pump it
that
full of
felt thinner,
artificial
like
sweetness.
closer to water. Prime, meanwhile, was a lot like Kool-Aid or Pedialyte, a stronger, denser, more syrupy flavor, which in turn made it feel, at least to me, heavier. Because of how dummy thick the flavor was, it wasn't really something that I or the rest of the team would actively reach for to recover from a workout. But just as a flavored water to drink around the house, yeah, that'd be great for that. Even after the taste tests, there was something that I couldn't quite kick. All the other sports beverages did taste fundamentally different from Prime. They all had a slightly muted flavor, even sometimes a salty flavor. And yet here was Prime tasted like a melted lollipop. How? How was
Yeah, it's not for sports. It's just like a sip around the house. It's just like squash. Do you guys in America have this stuff that the diluting water, the diluting juice that you just pour a little bit at the bottom and you fill it with water and it turns into just like an orange juicy
the one
stuff?
drink with the
It's
least
basically
sugar
the
content,
same. It's
one
like
that
kind of like the
tasted
same as
so
that.
much more sugary than the rest. And why did it have a fundamentally different flavor than all the other sports drinks? Again, something felt off about this. Something keeps feeling off about this stuff. What is it? So I went back to the nutrition label again, and that's when it hit me. Look again at the comparison of the electrolytes. Sure, Gatorade has 300 milligrams and Prime has over 800, but the way they
put
get
so much
to those
banana in
numbers is vastly different. Prime has 10 milligrams of sodium, 124 of magnesium, and a whopping 700 milligrams
Oh, Gatorade's gonna have much more sodium,
of
right?
potassium. Gatorade,
So it's gonna
meanwhile, has
feel more
80
salty.
milligrams of potassium and 270
Yeah,
milligrams of
look at that.
The ratio here is almost completely reversed. That is why you're getting a salty flavor from all these other sports beverages. Logan's Prime has 70 times as much potassium as sodium. Gatorade, meanwhile, has a ton of sodium and a teeny tiny amount of potassium.
I wonder if they specifically planned that out. When they sat down to make it, they were like, we're gonna put like basically no sodium in this because we're gonna have such a different flavor profile that you can't even compare it. Like, you know you're drinking Prime if you've had it before because it's so specific and it punches you in the face with the flavor. I think that's part of the branding. The flavor is literally part of the branding.
Potassium. Powerade, same ratios as Gatorade. So I had to keep looking. Body Armor, another top contender in our taste test, is closer to Prime. BioSteel, the one with the juice boxes, came in
This is so disgusting. It's so gross. I do not like that
with a
one.
completely different ratio than all the others with equal amounts of potassium and sodium. So that then brings us to what's probably the biggest question in all of this. What is the proper ratio for all these electrolytes? Is this the thing that's been nagging me about Prime all along? Well, it's important to note that each electrolyte is responsible for something different. Sodium, which we get mostly from common table salt, is the most prevalent, and it basically exists in all the spaces outside and around your cells to help you regulate blood pH and your overall water levels. How much you're peeing out, how much your kidneys are filtering out, things like that. Potassium, on the other hand, works inside your cells to help produce ATP, the little energy molecules that help power your body. Potassium also works in your heart to make sure it's pumping normally. Too much or too little potassium, and you could start having heart problems and irregular rhythms. Calcium
You drink too much Prime, you're gonna start having a heart attack.
and magnesium play smaller but still important roles in your muscle contraction and brain function, keeping you mentally and physically sharp. So, at the end of the day, it kind of seems like they're all important in their own right, so which ratio is the one we're aiming for in a sports drink? Well, remember the whole premise of a sports drink. It's to replace the electrolytes that you lose during exercise. That means that we
And the stuff that you lose is what, sodium?
don't need to worry about every electrolyte in the body. We only need to focus on the ones that we're losing during said exercise. And we're not losing them all at the same rate here either. The average person's sweat ratio of electrolytes is 220 milligrams of sodium for every 63 grams of potassium, 16 of calcium, and 8 of magnesium. I mean,
So you need to replace sodium at a much higher rate because that's what's sweating out more. But Prime doesn't have it because they want their flavor profile to be different. They want to have less sodium because they don't want their flavors to be salty. So it's not ideal. Is that what he's
that you're
trying to say?
losing
Let's find
nearly
out.
3.5 times more sodium at any given time than any other electrolytes. And if you're doing the type of exercise that needs a sports drink, you need to find one that replaces sodium before worrying about anything else. Looking back at the ratios that we found across our sports drinks, it now comes down
Bro, 10 milligrams of sodium compared to 230 in Powerade. That's
to which
insane.
formula replenishes your electrolytes at the ratio closest to the sweat that you're losing. Knowing that, let's look at Prime. Sure, it has a ton of electrolytes, but none of them are the ones that you need to be replacing. Prime
I swear to God, they just shoved a banana in this thing.
is giving you a
Called it a
ton
day.
of potassium. This thing is practically a banana, but you don't really need potassium in the middle of strenuous exercise. At least you don't need it nearly as much as you need sodium. In your sweat, you lose sodium to potassium at a ratio of 3.5 to 1. But with Prime, you're giving your body 0.014 milligrams of sodium to 1 milligram of potassium. You are essentially completely missing the one electrolyte that your body needs the most while sporting. What about the other sports drinks on the block? Well, Body Armor's ratio is 0.05. It's actually very similar to Prime. BioSteel is at least a 1-to-1 ratio with the same sodium and potassium content. I suspect that they're all sacrificing the sodium because it keeps these drinks tasting sweeter. More sodium means a saltier flavor like the
Are there that many salty drinks out there? I've had this in my mind for a long time. There are not that many salty drinks. We have so many sweet drinks. In fact, most drinks are sweet. Why are there not more salty drinks that you can just like crack open and just take a sip of? I was thinking of like chicken broth and stuff like that. That's a salty drink that you could just have. But I feel like there should be more like that, right? Why are there not more salty drinks? There's an area in the markets for a salty drink, like chicken broth or something along those lines, and people need to just do it. Like you go in and grab a bottle of broth from the shop. It's all sweet. There's no salty.
traditional sports beverage of Gatorade. Speaking of Gatorade, Gatorade and Powerade both have astonishingly different ratios than these newer competitors, with Gatorade at a ratio of 3.4 sodium to potassium, and Powerade at the very top of the scale with 4.1 milligrams of sodium to potassium, both coming in shockingly close to the actual ratios of real-life sweat. This,
Okay, so
in turn,
Gatorade's
makes
the
them
best then, is
infinitely
it?
more effective than the other three options at actually doing what they say they're doing, replacing what your body loses during exercise. Don't get me wrong, feel free to sprinkle.
This is why Gatorade is the best selling, right?
your
It's
coconut
insanely,
water on
insanely
whatever you
successful.
want. It's great that a lot of these new sports beverages don't have the dyes and preservatives and all the added sugars, but at the end of the day, the reason they're tasting so much sweeter than the Gatorades of the world is that they're missing the main ingredients that sports drinks need to be having: salt in
Damn, Logan Paul been really quiet since this one dropped.
the form of electrolytes. For really bottling
This is as close as MatPat will ever get to drama.
and feeding you back your own sweat, Gatorade has made their drinks taste remarkably good over the years. But the thing is, at some point if you're sweating salt, the only way to get it back into your body is to drink it, not paper over it with a bunch of other filler electrolytes that you don't need.
Or eat
What's
it.
the conclusion here? Honestly, that
I'm
the
telling you, just have a
definition
spoonful of
sports
salt.
Drinks and rehydration beverages are just too broad and ill-defined. If you're looking to replace sweat in your body, you need something with more sodium, something that Prime does not deliver on. That said, it's not like Logan is pulling a scam here or anything. He is delivering on exactly what he says he is: a drink full of electrolytes, more than any other sports drink in the space. But
Damn, man, I just checked Prime stocks just after this video came out. They went to 0. How crazy is that?
electrolytes aren't equivalent. They don't function the same. The formulation of Prime is fundamentally delivering a different product than the Gatorades and Powerades of the world, which in turn allows it to taste less salty while still competing in the same broad category. My personal
Wait a minute, you're telling me that Logan Paul advertised something as a certain thing and then did not deliver on what he was advertising it to be? What? Nah, no way, surely not.
that other brands, seeing the threat to its consumers, might change their more scientifically accurate formulations to better compete with the increasing threat and better taste of Prime. Something that I suspect will end up being a net negative for the entire sports drink market.
Honestly, there's no comparison.
You know what, Logan? For the first time, I think we can actually agree.
I wonder if he knows or he's just like dumb.
But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory.
Damn, he got dismantled. Drama between Logan Paul and MatPat. Which side are you on? I'm on this side of join my Subdivisional Discord server if you want to suggest a video for me to watch. We could watch the Prime Energy video after this if you want us to. Just let me know. Thanks, MatPat, for making a great video. Thanks for letting me react to it so I can do React Slop.